Sometimes, the quietest revenge is the loudest echo. The room was quiet, save for the ticking clock on the wall. Evelyn Hart sat at her desk, her eyes fixed on the glowing laptop screen. Her hands trembled, not from fear, but from the anticipation of what she was about to set into motion. For 3 years, Evelyn had been the backbone of Wexford and Company, a law firm that thrived on ambition and cunning. She had put in sleepless nights, sacrificed her personal life, and even silenced her own instincts for the sake of loyalty. But loyalty, she discovered, meant nothing to those who only saw her as a stepping stone. Her boss, Marcus Wexford, had stolen her ideas, taken credit for her work, and worst of all, humiliated her in front of the entire firm. The final blow came when he announced her promotion had been postponed indefinitely, while handing the position to his protégé, Daniel, a man whose only skill was flattery. That night, Evelyn made herself a promise. He will pay. Not in blood, not in bruises, but in silence, power, and loss. The trap begins. Evelyn knew Marcus well, enough to understand his weaknesses. His greed for recognition, his obsession with appearing flawless, and most importantly, his secret embezzlement. She had noticed discrepancies in financial documents months ago but had buried the knowledge deep inside her mind, waiting for the right moment. That moment had arrived. Over the following weeks, Evelyn worked with precision. She stayed late, copying files, tracing bank transfers, and gathering evidence. Each piece of data was a brick in the wall she was building around Marcus, one that would eventually close in on him with no escape. At the same time, she played her role flawlessly. At the office, she smiled, attended meetings, and even congratulated Daniel on his new position. Her silence made Marcus believe he had won, but he didn't know that the real game had just begun. The masterstroke, the company's annual gala, was the perfect stage. Marcus thrived on public admiration, and Evelyn intended to shatter that carefully crafted image. She arrived at the event in an elegant black dress, her demeanor calm yet unreadable, while Marcus boasted about the firm's unparalleled success. Evelyn quietly excused herself and slipped into the control room where the audiovisual system was managed. At precisely 8:30 p.m., the large projector lit up behind Marcus as he raised his glass for a toast. Instead of the polished company presentation he had prepared, financial records and secret transactions flashed on the screen, evidence of years of fraud, deceit, and corruption. Gasps echoed through the room. Marcus froze, his confident smirk collapsing into panic. Evelyn stood at the back of the hall, watching as whispers turned into shouts, and investors stormed out in fury. Within minutes, Marcus's empire of lies crumbled before the very audience he sought to impress. The following morning, Marcus's name was splashed across every business headline. Law firm titan exposed in embezzlement scandal. Investigations began, partnerships dissolved, and within weeks, Wexford and Company was nothing but a collapsing tower of dust. Evelyn didn't gloat. She didn't need to. She had already resigned quietly the night after the gala, leaving behind nothing but an envelope with her resignation letter on Marcus's desk. Inside, she had written a single line: "The shadows always remember." The aftermath. Months later, Evelyn sat in a small cafe by the riverside, her laptop open to a fresh page of her new beginning. She had started her own consultancy, built on transparency and integrity, the very values Marcus had scorned. She didn't need revenge to validate her. She had always been stronger, smarter, and more resilient. But watching Marcus lose everything had been the closure she deserved. And as she sipped her coffee, a faint smile touched her lips. She had not shouted, she had not threatened, she had simply let the truth speak louder than any scream of vengeance ever could. Sometimes, silence is the sharpest blade.